actually more environmentally friendly to have a city rather than a suburban life. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you do this little thought experiment, yeah, we have this kind of strange intuition about cities because we think of them as like these concrete and steel hellscapes where all the badness of humanity is produced and industrialization and all of that's true, right? They allow for large populations and for this economic machine to function. But and so and then when we go into nature, we have this experience of, oh, nature is amazing and it's inspiring and it rejuvenates me. And we want to spend more time in nature. And, and then the media really feeds us, especially, when you think about like um, tourism or even green, conservation. A lot of what's involved with that is like, you're going to live in a tiny home in the wilderness, next to
Mm-hmm.
a creek, and you'll be connected with nature, and your soul will feel full, and it'll be wonderful.
You're
But
selling it.
if you do the thought experiment of like, what if we all do that? Like, we all try to maximize the amount of nature that we're surrounded by. Like, that's bad for nature, right? That's bad for the ecology. If humanity is spreading out as widely as possible, and cities provide an avenue for us to really um, use a lot less space and live a lot more compactly and use a lot less resources if we're being mindful. Of course, some of our biggest consumers and carbon footprint citizens live in cities too, but
Mm-hmm.
but but cities make it possible to have a really light footprint for large number of people.
Yeah. So one of my thoughts as I get further and further into this climate environmental space is that we don't seem to live in is the word like reciprocity? Like we don't seem to live in balance with nature. When we go somewhere, we like dominate the entire area. Like even worse than like beavers who make dams, we go and we change the entire um, environmental system just to be completely focused around humans. And yeah, I didn't really think about this kind of stuff until it like something Phil Taylor said on the show really stuck out to me. It's like, should we even be living here? And I never even considered the possibility that we shouldn't be living in Boulder, Colorado, because we should be trying to preserve the land. But yeah, I have this idea in my head that like we could be, because I'm such like a simpleton. Like I'm like, oh, I'll just donate 50% of my commissions to fight climate change and I'll be good. And I'm like, oh, if we just make half of the earth for humans and half of the earth for wildlife, we should be fine. I figured I would share that idea with you.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we're I don't know how much of the habitable planet we've actually covered over with pavement and grass, not to mention crops that we burn in our cars. But
Grass.
it's a lot of yeah, grass, seriously.
Yeah.
I rent a patch of it that I have to maintain. It drives me crazy. But
Is that the HOA that makes you do that?
well, I mean, I don't want to destroy my landlord's grass, right? Because
Oh,
that's
gotcha. Fair enough.
um, but yeah, I mean, like, and I feel like our pattern right now is expanding on the edges of what we've already developed, and because it's like the only economically viable, or it's the only place where we actually allow new growth to happen is on the edges. And the edges are big, right? They're in getting bigger as their metropolitan areas get so big that they overlap with the next metropolitan area. And yeah, I'm very concerned about how much land we use.